Alrighty guys, what is up? Welcome back to Satisfactory Update 8 with Lone Debater 7, and today we're going to be building our automated wiring build. To get things started, I went ahead and built out this platform up here, and I placed this box. We're going to try to put our automated wires inside of here, that way they're by our versatile framework. Now, let's take a look and see what space we're working with. So I kind of expanded out a fairly large platform. So if we subtract these three rows right here, just look from here out, it's a 10 by 10. So this is about 100 foundations in size out to this corner. And I think this will give us enough room to get this thing put together. We are going to try to target this box over here. So I'm probably going to have my assemblers out this way, maybe pointing this way. So let's take a look at this recipe and kind of see how many we're going to try to make a minute. So we're going to go just the basic recipe. This carbon automated wiring comes from refined power, but it's actually quite a bit more expensive than just the default, so we're going to stick with the default. Now, to make 2.5 automated wiring per minute, we need to supply 2.5 stators and 50 cables. Now, the stator recipe does do 5 per minute, so we can actually run 2 automated wiring assemblers off of a single stator assembler. So I mean, that's only 5 a minute, which is not a lot, but really we only need that for the space elevator milestone or upgrade. The phase 2 of space elevator requires like 500 of them, so it'll take 100 minutes after this build is set up for us to spool up the required resources, but that's a-okay in my mind. I am going to leave a little space, I think, right here so we can walk over if we want to. But let's place our 2 automated wiring assemblers right here. So automated wiring and automated wiring. And I think our power situation is going to be able to support this fairly easily. We will double check that. Let me just go plug this in. It's right there. Actually, it'd be better if I had an intermediary pole like this. Look a little nicer. So we are actually like utilizing quite a bit of power. Max consumption is like 1400. And even though I doubled up our modular power plant, we probably don't have a whole lot of power. So I maybe need to expand that another layer, just so we can support running this system, because this should be quite a resource, like, intensive build. So let's go ahead and lay out the machines and kind of get stuff connected and kind of see where the power's at after the fact. So we've got 2 assemblers here, easy enough to understand. We need stators and we need cable. So for the stators, those are actually built inside of an assembler. So I think I will place that guy right here, set this recipe to stators. Going to make us 5 a minute, which then will supply these 2 machines. So let's go ahead and get that fed in with a splitter, our favorite building, our favorite logistics item. And these are all Mark 1s at this point because these are low throughput items. So cool. Jump over. Something like that. And then the other item that we need is cable. Now, cable is a little bit weird. So to run our stators, I guess we can start there. Not a big deal. We need 40 wire per minute and 15 steel pipe. So if I build a single constructor making steel pipe, it's actually going to give us 20 a minute. So it'll give us a little extra. And if I use the refined power alternate recipe in the foundry to make steel, I can then actually run 1 steel pipe constructor off of a single foundry. You can do it with the regular recipe as well. It's just not quite as good, in my opinion. So I guess we can look at trying to set that up first. We'll probably do the steel stuff over on this side, I guess. So let's kind of just map this out. So this constructor is going to make a steel pipe. That steel pipe is going to flow from there to there, just like that. Need power for both of these machines. Cool. There's that. Place another power pole right here because in order to get this running, we need a foundry to make us some steel. And I guess, sure, put the foundry like right here. We're going to use our alternate carbon steel ingot recipe. We've done this a few times in the past few builds. This is going to take 45 carbon dust and 15 iron ingots, so not a whole lot, but we do need just a touch of steel in order to make this work. So we will get that done. Now this does mean that we need a iron and a coal node up here. So iron for the ingots, and then coal is actually what makes carbon dust. So let's get the constructor set up. That's going to be running the coal recipe, I suppose. We can do that next. So I can't place it there. We'll actually just place it one foundation over. Something like this is probably fine. And I need carbon dust. Now I do have 4 over there. It's not worth trying. It's not going to be enough, A, and then B, I don't think it's quite worth. So that would be in line. There we go. Might as well get the bend right on the easy stuff. So this will do 100. I really don't need 100. I really need like 45, which only takes 18 coal, so maybe like 50. And then I can use an impure coal node to feed this constructor. So I think we'll do that. So we're going to have a miner probably about here doing impure coal to feed into this. Then I also need a smelter making iron ingot, and this only needs to do 15 per minute to supply this foundry. So I think we will underclock it to supply that. And same thing, we can get away with just an impure iron node to run this, and we can underclock that too. So we probably will. So okay, there's the inputs for our foundry. So then we could have an iron miner right here, a coal miner right here, feed it into the constructor and smelter respectively, and then we've got our steel figured out. Okay, let's go grab the miners, or by miners I mean the resources to build the nodes. So I need an impure coal, so 500 of this, and then I need an impure iron, so 500 of this. Okay, easy enough. What's really going to be resource intensive is the copper for this build, because cable takes quite a bit of copper to make, and that is the other half of both the stator that we're trying to make as well as the automated wire. But let's go ahead and place down the easy stuff. So we need an impure coal node. That is going to be in line with this guy. And you know what? I think we will just build it on the very back, and then we'll put the impure iron node right next to it. Something like this. And these can both just be tier 1 miners. Is that pointing the way I want? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay. And we'll kind of just plug these guys into their own power pole. And instead of bringing this pole this way, I am just going to bridge this up to here instead. Okay, so those are ready. Now the coal is doing 30 a minute. How much do I actually need? I only need 20 a minute. So I'm going to underclock this miner as well down to 20 parts per minute. And then this only needs to do 15. So we'll underclock the miner as well. And this is just to save on power cost. Realistically, what this tells me is I should potentially expand this to be a larger system. So really I could have 2 assemblers making stators instead of just 1, and then I'd be able to support 4 assemblers making automated wiring. But we'll maybe do that expansion later. I think that phase 3 of the space elevator requires quite a bit more automated wiring, so we'll maybe expand this out at that point. But there we go. We have our steel pipe figured out. We need 40 wire per minute in order to run this. And then we also need 50 cable, and cable is made with wires. So I think what maybe makes sense here, if I take a look at the recipe for wire, for 15 copper ingots, you get 30 wires. So if I do 4 constructors, that's 120. If I split that 123 ways, that would give me 40 on a line, which I could feed into here. Now for cable, you get 30 cable for 60 wire. And I need 100 cable to run both. So really one of these will be doing like 10, which is 20 per minute. So what I should do here is I should have 2 constructors making wire that are right here, and have one of them do the full 30, the other one do 20. Or, well, they both do 30, so you get 60 total. And then I can split 40 off into this assembler, and then split the remaining 20 off into a cable constructor. So let's kind of get that mapped out. So we are going to have a lot of these ultimately. So I guess what I could do, since this is kind of going to be our stator wire that we need is I can place these two constructors right here, and then I'll place the cable constructor that's taking the remaining little bit that we have left over off of this as well, and put it over on this side. Now I am kind of far, so there we go. We can kind of get something like this set up. And we are definitely going to need... I probably am going to have to go grab more cable. I only have 114 left. I'm going to need more than that for sure. But these are both going to be doing wire. So this will take one smelter worth of copper to run. So I can place that like here. And then this will split into these two constructors. I think that's aligned. So I can use all Mark 1s still. Great. Okay, so that is copper ingot going in. I need to go get the copper node, obviously, but that's fine. So what we're doing here is if I merge the 30 and 30, I get 60. Then I can split it 3 ways and merge 2 of the lanes together. So we'll take a merger right here. Then I will take a splitter right here. And then what I will do is take another merger and have that feed out into here. And so basically what has to happen is one line from this splitter is going to go there. The other line is going to go there. And this will feed in 40. The rest of this, I need to connect the merger into the splitter. I need to connect this constructor into the merger. Oops. Jumped a little far. There we go. So I've got 2, and then this last line is going to go into a constructor making cable. So that will go like right here. Set it to cable, and this will be the one that is making 10 cable per minute. Ooh, that's not a great place for this constructor, huh? Okay, fair enough. I mean, I guess it's not the end of the world. The belt's just going to look a little strange, but this is kind of a strange part of the build, so no worries. We'll just put 10 right here, plug that in like that. Okay, so if I have a smelter here, I could probably put the remaining, so I can go, how far is that away? That's 3, so that's actually pretty good. So I can go 1, 2, and then I think I'll go number 3, like this. So that's 4 of them. Making copper ingot. How much is on that? 1. And this, let's come up this direction. Is that's not plugged into anything, is it? Just plug in there. And this power pole come forward to like here. This constructor can maybe go like there. That can plug into that. Okay. Alright. So this is ultimately going to split once I have 100 on the line. So I guess I can line up the splitter now, just so we kind of get a feel for where we're trying to bring the belts in. So the outputs of the splitter can be tier 1, or Mark 1 belts, and then the inputs of the splitter is going to be a Mark 2. Okay, so that's fed in. All we got to do is bring our cable to input here. Now, I have 10 that's going to come out of this guy that will then merge in with the rest. So, what we need to do here, we've got... This is actually making 30, that's all being used. Okay, so I can support 6 machines, 6 constructors, making cable. Now, what is 6 times 30 is 180. Divided by 60 is 3. So that's only 3. So that's actually perfect. That's actually perfect. We can do this on the single pure copper node. That's great. So this is a cable machine. What would be great is to have the other cable constructors like here maybe. Just so the merge on the output is kind of lined up. Now I do need room for 6 constructors making wire, so actually I don't think those can go there. Unfortunate. So this will split out and feed 2 constructors making wire, which then feed 1 constructor making cable. So let's actually start it back here and kind of work from this one out. So I have 2 constructors right here. Those are going to get copper ingot from this and turn it into wire. What is this connected to? That? Actually, I can definitely plug these into there. That's fine. I still got space on this one. Let's bring out another pole. So these are both set to wire. I need to build a splitter. I should actually just set this to my hotbar is what I should do. The fact that I haven't done that is kind of embarrassing. That's okay. No judgment. Yeah. Okay. So this is going to be a little bit crowded. That should be just fine. Now I kind of want to bring this one out here maybe. Then this one, I guess, bring out here. Just to kind of keep the belts separated a little bit. So these are both going to do wire. That's fine. We're going to merge that wire and put it into another constructor. So, alright. Now these belts need to feed 2 more constructors. Or, well, really it's 4 more apiece. But, so there's wire there. I'm going to have wire coming out here and needs to go into a constructor. So, honestly, it probably makes sense just to put the cable constructor right here. Do something like that. I'm going to plug you... Actually, I'd prefer to have it there. We'll pull that pull out for a moment. So, let's grab our merger. Plug in our wire. Okay, there's that. And this is cable. So cable is ultimately going to come up this direction. That's fine. I just need to remember that. So cable and cable. Great. Now, I've got space. I can place another 2 wire constructors here. Pull the power. Sure. Bring it back. And this can plug into this. Sure. I do have a single connection on this, so I can utilize that to expand further. That's fine. Grab this. I need a splitter. This is going to feed into these 2 boxes, so we'll grab this belt, run that in, bringing in wire to our next 2, or bringing in coppering it rather into our next 2 constructors making wire. Okay. And then I need another constructor up here, build cable. We'll throw this guy like right there because we're ultimately... Actually, I kind of like the way this will flow. So this is making cable, so that has to go out, and then these are making wire, which needs to go into another constructor. So I'm thinking what I could do here is maybe elevate this line. Okay, doesn't want to elevate off of that. That's fine. Yeah, we'll bring it up to a height 2. Then bring it back down. Is that straight? It is. Sure. Then this is cable. Actually, it might make sense to leave it up at height 2. And just run it down when we merge it. So I've got a cable constructor right there as well. Let's just do that for the time being, because I've got another wire belt that needs to kind of route through here. Now that is exactly in front of this, huh? Okay, we need to do something a little different there. Kind of, I don't care for how this is coming together like that, but I think that's okay. I don't want to block this cable constructor that's coming out. I think we'll run that like this. And then maybe what we do is we bring this guy down. Well, actually, if we're going to do that, I should extend this into right there, because then it'll merge perfect in like that. Yeah, let's do something like this, and then I can throw a merger right here, connect in these 10 and these 30, then move it on. Then the next cable constructor can feed into another merger maybe here, another merger here, and then that feeds in. Yeah, I kind of like that. So that has cable, this has wire. We need another constructor making cable. So if I do something like this, I can grab a merger, have it output from the front, which does fit underneath this belt. Well, almost fits underneath that belt. We'll just put the merger on the other one, actually, is what we'll do. Then we'll just run the belt at ground level for a little bit further. Totally fine, totally fine. So do something like this. Slam it in like that. And yeah, that looks okay. I mean, it's not ideal, but that's just mainly because of the way that this is kind of jockeying around. It does mean that I can't put the two constructors right there, though, which I'm not a fan of. Actually, I don't think there will be a way for me to do that, so you know what? It is what it is. I might have to offset a couple constructors. Actually, what I could do instead, I could build a constructor like here and here, because we do have quite a bit of room going off in this direction that I'm not utilizing yet. So yeah, we'll do something like that. This needs to be a splitter, not a merger. That's going to go like this, and feed in another 30 copper ingot into this constructor to make wire. Let me actually set the recipe on this and connect it to power so I don't forget. Bring another one up there. And these two. Yes. Okay. Then these both need to be making wire. Then I need to connect the copper ingot line that we have sitting right here into this. And actually what I can do for that is I can adjust the bend on this so it comes into the middle like this. And the way I adjusted the rotation, if you use your scroll wheel, so if I click this and then, well, before you click it, you can just scroll, right? And it adjusts the angle. If you are attaching to something, so I pull off of here, then I'm building a belt, I can click, and then usually you get the option to scroll your mouse wheel, and it'll rotate stuff. But okay, enough of that. Just in case you didn't know, that's how I was doing it. So okay, we've got cable coming out of this one, and we've got wire coming out of this one. So what I could do here is I could actually throw another constructor that's fed from these two and put it here. Sure, we'll do something like that. Not what I want to do. This is going to be a merger feeding in. Okay. So wire into this constructor, making another 30 cable for a total of 90 now. We can plug that in, and we can max out that pull because this is the last constructor that we're going to need in the series. So that is a-okay. Then what I can do with this line is I can actually bring it out right next to it and merge it in. And I know this is not the most efficient use of space, so please don't roast me, but yeah, just the way it is. Let me actually place the merger and we'll snap it together. Merger going this way, this going into this port, this into this port, and this is going to come all the way over here in a straight line, and we're going to merge it in with the other belt. So where is the... Oh, we have a merger right in front, but we don't need that. We're going to finish the merge right here. And yeah, I do want it to output from this base, because then this actually needs to be marked 2, because we now have 100 cable running on this belt. Oh, whoops. That was a splitter. That was not a merger. Darn it. So, I was right. I do need this thing here. Splitter. Yes, please. Okay. It's 50 into each one, so that part's fine to be marked 1, but the feed into it needs to be marked 2. So if I take a mark 2 belt, plug that in, that should be all the logistics set up. And now all I need to do is place a miner on a pure node of copper and plug that into our smelters, and we should be ready to go. Now, before I get too far ahead of myself, I just want to make sure, do I have any open power connections back here? No is the answer. Okay, so that's connecting to... That's connecting to... This one has an opening. So I could actually connect it straight off that. I think I will do that. Okay, let's go grab the copper ore and get our miner placed. Now it's only a tier 1 miner on a pure copper node is what we're looking for. So I need 20 ore. That's 20. And then I can place this down, put the miner on it, and bada bing, bada boom, we've got everything ready to roll. We will be making some automated wires, assuming we have the power to support it. I still have to connect the output of the final assemblers into our box, but that's fine. That'll be pretty easy. And as far as where I want this to go, I guess we can have it right next to the other ones. Not a big deal. Grab a miner mark 1, have it output this way, and then what we need to do is split this twice. So, and the reason we need to split it twice is I need to have 30 into each of those smelters. I need to go grab cable. Sorry about that, guys. I saw that we only had 1 left, and I thought we were good because we don't really need to place much more power cable, but I forget that splitters give cable as part of the recipe. So we'll do that. We'll also grab some iron plate while we're here, because we might, well, we'll need it to build the conveyor belt and the lift into this box, but that's okay. Get that dealt with. But we're almost there. We almost have this done. Not too bad. Automated wiring is not a super complicated recipe. It does, I mean, you can see we have quite a bit of constructors and infrastructure up here, so it is a little complicated, but it's not too bad. It's nothing, like Versatile Framework I think is a lot harder than copper plate, so I need a Mark II belt to feed into this splitter. Then I need 2 more splitters, so one is going to go here, which is going to be these 2 smelters. Boom, okay. Then I can put those in, doesn't matter. Then I need another splitter to feed these 2 smelters, so I guess if I actually move it back a little bit, this might work slightly nicer for us. So let's feed that. That's good. This will soft clip, and then we're likely going to have to soft clip into this one as well. So let's soft clip that one first, and then do that. So these 2 aren't clipping, but it is clipping into this line. But you know what? That's a-okay. I am not too concerned about it, because we don't have a whole, like the way this smelter is set up, it's not ideal. Like I guess what I could do is actually move this smelter line. Let's do that. Let's adjust our smelter. So I have one there. If I put another one like here instead, then I can do something like this, put the copper into it. And actually what I'll do is I'll bring in another power pole over, just so we can do something like this. Then I can take this one, plug it in, and I can come out of the front of this and run it around into this guy. Did I go too far? I definitely went too far. I probably picked up some copper ore. It's okay. Boom. Okay. That should be the build done. That should be the build done. It will take probably 2-3 minutes to spool up everything, but this should be at ratio to produce us 5 automated wiring a minute. So while it's spooling, let me go ahead and build a lookout tower right here, and we can kind of get a bird's eye view of what we just built. Sure. Place it right here, climb up, we can see. This also gives me a second to verify. I don't see any red lights, which means everything has recipes, and they do have power given to them. They just haven't started producing. But let's kind of walk through this. So what we've got 2 assemblers at the front, each set to make automated wiring. I still need to plug these in, so we'll do that in just a second. Right? In order to do this, I need 2.5 stators per minute, and then I also need 50 cable per minute fed into the back of the assemblers. That's what needs to happen. So we have an assembler making 5 stators per minute. That requires 40 wire and 15 steel pipe. The steel pipe is coming from a single foundry and a single constructor. To run the foundry, I need an impure coal node underclocked to 20 coal per minute, and an impure iron node underclocked to 15 iron a minute. Goes through a smelter and a constructor. Constructor turns the coal into coal dust. The smelter turns the iron ore into iron ingot, feeds the foundry, makes a steel pipe. All right. For the wire, we have copper coming out of a single smelter here, right? And that is going into 2 constructors making wire for a total of 60. That 60 is then split into 40 feeding our stators and another 20 feeding a cable constructor that is producing 10 cable a minute. For the other half, we need a total of 100 cable a minute going into these machines to make our wire. So we have 10 coming from this constructor off of our stator build, and then we have another 3 smelters that are generating 90 copper ingots a minute, which is converted into a total of 180 copper wire per minute. That 180 copper wire is then converted into 90 wires, which merge in over here and feed in, link up with our 10 that we're getting from our stator build, and then feed in to split between these 2 assemblers. So that's the build. As far as raw resources are concerned, it requires an impure coal, an impure iron, and then a pure copper node, all running tier 1 miners. You could get away with a normal copper node with a tier 2 miner if you have that unlocked. You just need to generate 120 copper ore per minute, 20 coal ore per minute, and 15 iron ore per minute to run this build. But there you have it. That's how you make a total of 5 automated wires per minute. So we already have some in here. Let's go ahead and try to connect them into our box. So I think the way I want to do this is I'd like them to come off of the front of this system is kind of what I'm thinking. Kind of like that. So go ahead and merge these. That was not placed right. That was not placed right. Darn. It's because I didn't place the splitter in the middle, so I had or the merger in the middle, so I'd have a little bit of room off the front. So what I can do here, I probably want a lift that feeds down, but let's actually build a conveyor belt out that we then snap the lift to. Then I think it's going to be easier to kind of gauge the height from down here. So I want it roughly in line with the height of this lift. So I could do something like that. Then run the belt over to here. And then connect the belt across. And I actually kind of like that. It kind of looks good. I know it does kind of make it so you can't go through there, but that's okay. I don't know if we might put ramps here eventually, and then I might readjust this belt, but there we go. That should put it into the appropriate box. They should be on their way over, so we'll have some in here in a moment. Kind of see them coming. Yeah, there we go. We got 4, 5, 6 of them so far. So not bad. But guys, that is how you make 5 automated wiring per minute. That's our build. Not too complicated. We could easily expand it up to 10 copper wire per minute. What that would require is simply replacing the tier 1 miner on the copper with the tier 2. And then we might have to up our coal and iron. Well, our iron, we just would not have it underclocked. So we could still run it from an impure. Our coal, we'd have to go up to a normal node, I think. Or actually, yeah, we would have to go up to a normal because we need 40 coal per minute to double up the steel to support a second stator assembler. But guys, that's the episode for today. We are getting closer to having all of the resources for phase 2 of the space elevator automated. We've spooled up quite a bit of versatile framework, and we're starting to spool up our automated wire now. We need about 500 of each, I believe, so that shouldn't take too long to generate. Well, it's 100 minutes for the automated wire from this point, so not a big deal. We'll get that eventually. We still need to automate smart plating, is the last item for phase 2 of the space elevator, and that is rotors and reinforced iron plate. So we'll probably take a look at setting up that build next time. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to like, comment, subscribe as always. And if you subscribe, hit the bell icon so you get notified when the next episode comes out. That way you can see us put together the smart plating build that we're going to do. Anyway, guys, this has been Lone Debater 7, and until next time, we will see ya.